You wake up in the middle of the night. Outside your tent, the wind screams across an empty mountain. The temperature is nearly negative 40 degrees, cold enough to kill you in minutes. You're wearing thick winter clothing. Your boots are beside you. Your friends are asleep. Everything is normal. Then suddenly, something happens. Something so terrifying. You guys panic. You and other 8 experienced hikers cut their way out of their own tent. Not through the zipper. Not carefully. You sliced through the fabric. Getting out quickly mattered more than surviving the cold. And then you left. Barefoot. Half-dressed. Into the darkness. No one knows why. Because by the time rescuers found you and the other 8 hikers, some were frozen. Some had crushed skulls. One was missing her tongue. And all 9 were dead. Tonight, we are going to talk about one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history, the Dyatlov Pass incident. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. The year was 1959. The place? The northern Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. An endless wilderness of snow, rock, wind, and silence. 9 experienced hikers set out on what should have been the achievement of a lifetime. Actually, 10. But one member of the group became ill early in the expedition and turned back. That decision would save his life. Everyone else would never return. Their leader was a 23-year-old engineering student named Igor Dyatlov. Experienced, respected, and highly skilled in winter survival. The mountain pass where they would eventually die now bears his name. Dyatlov Pass. This wasn't some casual camping trip. Completing the journey would earn them Level 3 certification, the highest hiking qualification in the Soviet Union. These weren't amateurs. These were some of the country's best. On January 25th, 1959, they began their journey. Photos recovered from their cameras shows smiling faces, laughter, snowball fights, friends enjoying an adventure. Nobody in those pictures knew they were documenting their final days alive. Everything went smoothly at first, until February 1st. That was the day they reached a mountain called Kholat Syakhl, a name given by the local Mansi people. Translated loosely, it means Dead Mountain. Weather conditions worsened rapidly. Strong winds, heavy snowfall, poor visibility. The hikers drifted off course. At this point, many experts believe they should have descended into the forest for shelter. But for reasons nobody fully understands, they stayed and set up camp directly on the exposed slope. Imagine standing there. No trees, no protection. Only darkness. And wind powerful enough to shake your bones. That night, they pitched their tent, cooked dinner, wrote journals, took photographs, then prepared to sleep. It was the last normal moment of their lives. The hikers were expected to send word once they completed their journey. When no message came, people initially weren't worried. These were experienced mountaineers. Delays happened. Days passed. Then weeks. Still nothing. Finally, search parties were sent out. including military personnel. And when rescuers found the campsite, they immediately knew something was terribly wrong. The tent was still standing, partially collapsed under snow, but still there. Inside, they found coats, boots, food, personal belongings, everything needed to survive, left behind. And then came the detail that changed everything. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Think about that. You're trapped on a mountain in negative 40-degree weather. Your tent is your only protection. And yet, something made these experienced hikers abandon it immediately. Without shoes, without jackets, without even fully dressing themselves. Investigators found footprints leading away from the camp. 9 sets. But the footprints weren't chaotic. They weren't running. They weren't stumbling. They were walking. Calmly. Single file. Into the darkness. Barefoot. Or wearing only socks. As if whatever drove them from the tent was somehow worse than freezing to death outside. The tracks led downhill toward a forest about a mile away. And that's where the first bodies were found. 2 hikers. Beneath a massive cedar tree. Barefoot. Wearing only underwear. Their hands badly scraped, as though they had desperately tried climbing the tree. The branches above them were broken several meters high, almost as if someone had climbed upward, trying to see something, or hide from something below. Nearby, investigators discovered the remains of a campfire, the last traces of warmth these hikers ever experienced. Then they found 3 more bodies, scattered between the cedar tree and the tent. Frozen in positions suggesting they had tried returning to camp, as if, after surviving whatever happened, they decided to go back, but never made it. One had a head injury. Another bore strange bruises. Their clothing looked unusual. Pieces of clothing taken from one another. A sleeve here, a sock there. Almost like each death became a resource for the survivors. When someone died, the others took their clothes. Then another died. And the cycle repeated. Investigators concluded these first 5 died from hypothermia. No signs of external attack. No evidence of murder. But then spring arrived. The snow melted, and the mystery became much darker. Months later, search teams discovered the remaining 4 hikers, buried beneath nearly 13 feet of snow, inside a ravine, almost like they had built a shelter there, or tried to. Their injuries were unlike anything investigators expected. One hiker had a fractured skull. Another suffered chest trauma, so severe, experts later compared it to the force of a car crash. No external wounds. No cuts. Just devastating internal injuries. Then there was Ludmila Dubinina. Her injuries remain among the most disturbing details of the entire case. She suffered massive chest fractures. Her tongue was missing. Her eyes were gone. Parts of her lips and facial tissue were absent. Yet, strangely, there were no signs of struggle nearby. No footprints from attackers. No evidence of animals dragging bodies. Nothing. As if the mountain itself had taken them. And then investigators discovered something even stranger. Some of the clothing carried traces of radiation. Radiation. In the middle of a remote mountain, far from any nuclear facility. Naturally, theories exploded. Did the local Mansi tribe attack them? Unlikely. The Mansi were known to be peaceful, and no foreign footprints were ever found. Was it an avalanche? This remains one of the leading theories today. An avalanche could explain why they fled the tent. But many problems remain. No large debris field, no major tree damage, and avalanches in that area are incredibly rare. Could hypothermia have caused irrational behavior? Possibly. Extreme cold can create something called paradoxical undressing. Victims suddenly feel unbearably hot. They remove their clothes, walk into the snow, and die. But hypothermia doesn't explain crushed chests, missing tongues, or radiation. And so, the stranger theories emerged. Secret Soviet weapons testing, military cover-ups, infrasound causing panic, Yeti attacks, even aliens. Perhaps the most chilling part came from the Soviet government's official conclusion. They stated the hikers died because of a compelling natural force. Not an avalanche, not weather, not murder, a compelling natural force. Honestly, that's one of the eeriest official statements I've ever heard. Because what exactly does that mean? In 2019, Russia reopened the case. For decades, families and researchers had demanded answers. Perhaps now the mystery would finally be solved. Investigators examined new evidence, conducted modern simulations, reviewed avalanche theories, ice slab theories, wind events. And after all of that, they reached almost the same conclusion as 60 years earlier. No criminal activity, some form of natural force. Case closed. Except, for many people, it isn't closed at all. Because every explanation leaves something behind. A detail that doesn't fit. A question without an answer. A footprint leading nowhere. And maybe that's why the Dyatlov Pass incident still haunts people today. Not because we know what happened, but because we don't. 9 experienced hikers walked into the mountains, and on a frozen slope called Dead Mountain, something happened. Something powerful enough to make them abandon safety, walk barefoot into darkness, and never return. So if you ever find yourself alone in the mountains, hearing only wind in the darkness, remember this. Sometimes the scariest mysteries aren't the ones with monsters. They're the ones with no answers at all. Stay safe out there, guys. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.